What's up, guys? Travis with TCustomz Productions, TCustomz.com. Sorry for the lighting's a little bit low and dark. But today's video, I actually wanted to address, talk to the producers and artists. This is kind of piggybacking on a topic that I had talked about a little while ago. In this video, I talked about how to arrange a hip-hop instrumental, and I was speaking specifically to producers on how to arrange an instrumental for a recording artist to rap over or to create a song from. One of the things that I mentioned in there was not feeling constrained and limited to a certain formula or certain structure with your instrumental, and in this case with your song from a recording artist standpoint, a rapper, MC, or singer, songwriter, musician, like not feeling constrained to a certain recipe or some sort of formula to create a song. And the reason why I'm shooting this video is because I've had a number of artists contact me who have gone through tracks in my catalog, and they'll ask me about a certain track and they'll say, on this track I like it, but where's the chorus? And okay, well, maybe this track wasn't intended to have a chorus. Many of my tracks do, and many songs that you're going to hear in all genres of music are going to have some sort of hook or chorus. But in hip-hop, and specifically when you get into the subgenres of hip-hop, there's so many different styles and arrangements, and different artists are doing different types of tracks. Many of them are just spitter MCs, and they don't even have hooks on their track, a lot of them, depending on who you listen to in the independent underground scene. Really what I'll tell a lot of artists is, I've got tracks that have designed hooks on the instrumentals, and then some tracks are not necessarily intended to have a chorus. If you want to make a chorus for it, you can pick a part of the beat and obviously create your own chorus, but when I was making it from a production standpoint, I didn't have a set chorus in mind. I mean, there's a lot of examples out there, dope tracks that don't have hooks, and I'm a huge fan of these songs that are 2.5 minutes long, 3 minutes long, that are just dope MCs spitting over dope instrumentals and just making, they're in, they're out. It has a replay factor to it also, like I mentioned in the other video, having shorter arrangements and shorter instrumentals and songs, it gives you that replay factor because people are very ADHD. I hear some of these like 5 and 6 minute songs, and I get it, understand it. If you've got multiple choruses and bridges and all this stuff, they can get long, but I'm a big fan of these 2 and 3 minute songs. Just get in, get out, and sometimes that's how I structure my instrumental. Now, other cases, I will have like a traditional formatted beat, so an artist can take it, have a hook, and that's all fine and dandy. But then for other tracks, I'll have other ideas, and I'll have other artists in my mind of, okay, an artist could do this kind of track with it, and there would be a little breakdown here, and they'll spit another 16. As I'm making tracks, I've got a bunch of influences like we all do, and so we take all those in, and subconsciously, maybe even when I'm creating a beat, I don't necessarily feel like I have to force a hook, just whatever comes, and then I say, okay, this sounds like a track that so-and-so could rock over. Maybe they'll do this kind of an arrangement. Maybe they'll set up this type of beat, or this is, at least from a production standpoint, the way I envision it. So that's how I present it to the artist. Now, whether the artist takes it and does that with it or not is kind of up to them. A good example of that would be the UMP Fax 2 intro track. The instrumental that I created and arranged had a set verse. It had a 16-bar verse, it had an 8-bar hook, very distinguished by the extra instrumentation that I brought in on the chorus, and then it went into another 16, 8, and then a breakdown. So it was a traditional, what I would call a traditional arrangement for hip hop or pop or any kind of mainstream song. Now, what did with the track, it was a 3.5 minute track. He didn't have a hook on it. He spit for 3.5 minutes. Now, is that wrong? Absolutely not. I mean, the track turned out dope. If you haven't, heard the track or seen the video, I'll link it below. So I had it envisioned for a chorus, and the artist says, okay, I'm just gonna spit bars over this. Again, within hip hop, there's so many different ways to approach a track. A song that I absolutely love is an older track, but Edo G and Master Ace did a track called 8 is Enough, and I'll link that too below to the music video. It's super dope. It's about a 3.5 minute track as well. There was no hook on it. Now, the concept for this track was Master Ace spits 8, Edo G spits 8. They go back and forth throughout the entire track like that. There's minor variation in the instrumental. The song is super dope. Just because it doesn't have a chorus doesn't make it any less quality than anything else that's released. For the artist, the way I feel about it from a listener standpoint is, if I'm listening to your new project or album or EP, I want variety in that. I don't want everything necessarily to have a hook. I don't want everything necessarily to sound a certain way. I mean, who's to say you can't just throw out a 2-minute track of you just spitting, or bringing a feature on? You spit a 16 and you have a feature that spits 16. I mean, who's to say you don't have a track like that? So I feel like, you know, there's kind of this mentality of having to stay in a box. Like from a producer standpoint, you feel like your beats are probably more marketable if you stay in a certain structure, which may or may not be true. But I get in my creative workflow and I say, you know what? If this track needs a hook, I'll add a hook. If I feel like this is more like a track that I just want a rapper to spit on, I have another vision for it, then I'll approach it that way, and that's how I release it. I don't care if it's 2.5 minutes long. You know, if the artist who hears it is supposed to hear it and like it, they will, and they'll gravitate towards it, and they'll like it for what it is, and they'll kind of know what I was thinking from a production standpoint. So again, I just want to shoot this quick video because again, from an artist and producer standpoint, I feel like a lot of us try to formulate and stay in a certain confines to make a song hot or make it popular, make it something that people want to listen to. And I feel like you need variety. You need the tracks with hooks. You need the tracks without hooks. You need some straight spitting bars tracks for underground hip hop. Like, you need that variety, and it's my job to make those tracks ready for those type of artists to create those kind of tracks, and it's my job to make these kind of tracks for tracks that might have traditional hooks. Again, the artist is going to have their own interpretation on what the track is supposed to sound like as well. So again, these are just my thoughts and opinion on this topic. I feel like every style, every arrangement has its place. My words of wisdom, my advice is don't feel constrained to a set formula. Make dope music. If it's a 2-minute track, it's a 2-minute track. If it's a 6-minute track, it's a 6-minute track. If it has a hook, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Just make dope music. So definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this topic from an artist or producer standpoint, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.